is day 12 today, and we are taking our first practice quiz together. And again, I wanted to mention this is going to count as our day 12 exit ticket. So we want to make sure that you have this turned in to me by Friday. And I am going to write that this is my answer key. And you will write your name. Okay. So on this practice quiz, you're going to notice there's a few sections. In the first section, we are not working with variables. We are just multiplying, dividing, adding, and subtracting numbers. So for number 1, got a few things going on here. Thinking of the order of operations, what would the first thing be that I need to do here? Yes.
Parentheses.
Parentheses. Good. So in parentheses, I have 2 plus 3. What is that going to give me?
5.
5. So I'm going to write 5, and we'll bring everything else down. Now I have 3 times 11 divided by 5.
3 times 11 is 33.
Perfect. So I'm going to do 3 times 11 first, and that will give me 33.
Divided by 5.
Divided by 5.
6.5.
6.6. Let's see. So then I would type 33 divided by 5, and we get 6.6. Good. So notice that on here it does say show your work. So please show your work and circle your answers. That way, when I'm looking at all these different numbers, I will know which one I'm grading. Okay, so circle your answers for me. Okay, let's look at number 2. What should I do here first?
Exponents.
Exponents. Yes, that's a tricky one. So remember our order of operations, we have parentheses, then exponents, then multiplication and division, then addition and subtraction, both of those left to right. So parentheses first. What's 8 minus 4?
4.
4. Good. Then we'll bring everything else down. 5 times 4 divided by 2 squared, or that is also 4. Okay, so now I have 5 times 4 divided by 4.
20 divided.
Yes. 5 times 4 is 20.
5.
Divided by 4,
Yeah, 5.
which is 5. Very good. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And at any point, if anyone has a question or if anyone needs me to slow down, holler at me, let me know. I'm happy to answer. Yes, you got it. We'll try to go a little slower. So just one more time walking through that. We did parentheses first. 8 minus 4 gave us 4. Then we brought everything down. 5 times 4 divided by 2 squared. We crossed off 2 squared because that means 2 times 2. It gave us 4. Then we did 5 times 4 is 20 divided by 4. And that gave us 5. Okay, any questions on numbers 1 and 2? We feel okay about those? Okay, all right, let's go ahead to number 3. I'm going to scoot my page down a little. Now the directions here say evaluate each expression using the given values for each variable. Show your work, circle your answers. So, can somebody explain to me what does that mean in simple terms? What are we going to be doing here with these variables? Yes?
You're substituting your x and y with numbers.
Yes, I'm just going to be substituting my x and my y for the numbers they give us. We're just replacing the letters with numbers. So I have 6 times x.
6 times 3.
Good. I'm going to write 6 times 3.
Plus 2.
Plus
2.
2.
18.
There we go.
18 plus 2.
Yes. So
Plus
6
2.
times 3 is 18.
Plus 2 equal 20.
Perfect. 18 plus 2 is 20. Awesome, guys. And I would circle my answer. go. Okay, any questions on number 3? Everybody got that one? Awesome. Okay, let's look at number 4. This one is a little tricky. Okay, yes.
Say 4.
Yes, number 4. And you go ahead. I saw you with your hand.
You take, transform your A to a 2.
Yes, so we're going to replace A with 2. So now I have 2 squared.
Plus,
Mm-hmm.
and then your parentheses, 6 minus -3.
Yes, I have 6 minus
-3.
-3.
So in your parentheses,
Mhm.
you would take the
-3.
yeah, the 4, which 2 times 2 is 4.
Yes.
Take that to a 4.
Now let's look at our parentheses first, since that's what the order of operations tells us to do. 6 minus -3. What's special? What's going to happen here since we have minus
That's
a
gonna be a
negative?
+3.
Yes. When you have minus a negative number, remember that turns into a plus. So really we're doing 6 plus 3. Okay?
9.
What is 6 plus 3?
9.
9. Good. Now we'll do our exponent. I've got
Plus 4.
2 squared. Perfect. That's 4. Because that's 2 times 2.
13.
So 4
13.
plus 9 equals 13.
Good.
Good. Awesome, guys. That's very good. Okay. Any questions on number 4? Okay, can I move to number 5, or does anyone still need this work? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move it. Stop me if you need to see anything. Okay, so for numbers 5 through 8 on this page, we are now simplifying each of these expressions, which is just numbers and letters without an equal sign included. We're simplifying by combining like terms. So can somebody remind me, what does like terms mean? Yes.
Same symbol.
Same symbols, yes. And by symbols, do you mean like the variables?
X's.
Yes.
The N's. The A's.
Yes. All the variables. If it has the same variable, we can put them together. So for number 5, I have 7x plus 10x.
17x.
17x. Good. Okay. Number 6. This one's a little bit more complicated. I have 4n plus 3 plus 5n minus 2. So which of these terms are like terms?
4n, 5n.
Good. So 4n plus 5n, these go together.
9.
And then 2 is negative.
9.
Good.
Yeah.
And then we've got 3
And -2.
and negative
Plus
2, or
one.
minus 2.
Plus 1.
Plus 1. Good. 3 minus 2 is 1. And it's going to
Plus
be
one.
plus 1. Perfect. Good. Good. And that's our answer, so we circle it. Okay. Is anybody confused about how we knew it was plus 1 instead of minus 1? Or does everybody get that?
That's simple.
Yeah, good, good. Just want to make sure. Okay, let's look at number 7. Negative 4n plus 10n.
Equals 6n.
Yes, 6n. Remember, if I have a negative number and I'm adding a positive number, this is the same thing as subtraction. When you add a negative, you're just subtracting 10n minus 4n. This is the same thing. You'll get 6n. Perfect. Do we have any questions on number 7? Okay. Look at number 8. First, let's figure out which of these are like terms.
A -10 and 3a.
Good. We have negative 10a. Then we have minus 3a, or negative 3a.
Negative
Minus 13.
Yes, negative 10a minus 3a is negative 13. Yes.
13.
Oh, that's right.
So remember,
Plus
if
9.
I have a negative, and I subtract, it just gives us a bigger negative. Same thing as adding. And then we have 6 plus 3.
Plus 9.
9 plus 9. So that's our answer. So we circle it. Any questions on the first page?
And you get 13A.
So we have negative 10a, and then we also have negative 3a. So when I put negative 10 and negative 3 together, it's basically like adding negative 10
Okay.
plus negative 3, and that will give us negative 13.
Yes.
Yes. Moana?
Is that turning to a positive though?
Ooh, so that would be if we were multiplying. If I multiply two negatives, I'll get a positive. But when I'm just adding and subtracting,
It stays the same.
yeah, it'll stay the same. And remember, you guys can always check your answers on the calculator. I could type in negative 10 minus 3, negative 13. So feel free to use calculators, absolutely. I'm totally okay with that. Okay, do we have any other questions on the first page? Before I go to the other side, do you guys need to see any of these other answers, or everybody all caught up? Okay, so let's go to the next page. All right. So on the next page, we are still combining like terms, but I wanted to separate these because with these 4 problems specifically, we are using distribution. Now, does anyone remember what distribution is? What are we really doing when we use distribution? What is distribution?
Multiplying.
Multiplying. Yes, perfect. So whenever I have, for example, in number 9, I have 7 times, parentheses, 2x plus 9.
You say 14.
Yes, we
X.
are.
14x.
Yes. First, I'm going to draw my arrows to show that I am taking 7 times both of these. 7 times 2x is, you are correct, Jean, 14x.
Plus
Good.
63.
Good. Plus 7 times 9, that's 63. Perfect. So that's all you're doing, 7 times 2x, and then 7 times 9. And I'll just make a note. You don't have to write this, but in case it helps as a note to look back on your quiz when you take it, so you're not like, well, where did those numbers come from? I don't remember. We're just doing 7 times 2x. That's how we got 14x. And we're doing 7 times 9. That's how we got 63. Okay, any questions on number 9? All right, let's look at number 10. What's the first thing I should do for number 10?
Multiply 12, negative 12 times negative 2.
Yes, I'm actually gonna, even before that, I'm gonna draw some arrows. Now, it's a personal preference. I'm not gonna grade you on if you draw arrows or not, but I find it really helps help me remember what I'm supposed to be multiplying. But you are correct. We're gonna start with negative 12 times negative 2. And what would that be?
24.
24. Is it
24.
Yes, just 24. Why is it not negative 24?
Because the negative times a negative.
Yes, a negative times a negative gives a positive. Good. So we've got 24. And what am I multiplying next?
7.
So negative 12 times 7.
Negative 84x.
Good. Negative 84x. Perfect. So because we got negative 84, we don't need to write plus negative 84. We can just say minus 84x. Anybody have any questions about number 10? Any questions at all? We feel okay? I'm so more than happy to answer them if you do have questions. Okay, we'll move on. Number 11. This one's a little trickier because not only do we have a problem with distribution, we also have a +2 at the end.
The n is 1.
Yes, the n counts as 1 because there's no number in front of n, so we know it's just 1 n. So if it helps, you could write that in. You don't have to, but you can. What should I do first?
Negative 7 times 1.
Good. Negative 7 times 1n gives us what?
Negative 10.
Negative
-7
7n. Good.
plus 28.
So now I have, yes, negative 7 times
Hmm.
positive 4. Now is it negative 28? Good. When we take a negative times a positive, we get a negative. Negative 28.
And then bring down a +2.
Yes, thank you. Now I have to bring down +2. Is my problem done?
No.
No, I still have like terms to combine. Which of these are like terms?
28 numbers.
Yeah, I've got, remember to keep your sign, negative 28 and +2.
Minus 7 n minus 28.
So let's see, we do have a minus 7n, we have minus 28. Now we do have the +2 as well. So that +2 and that negative 28, when we put them together, what number will we get?
28.
Negative.
Negative 28.
So we do have the negative 28.
Oh, no, negative 26.
Yes,
Negative 26.
good.
Sorry.
Negative 28 plus 2. Remember, we're starting with a negative number. When you add a positive to a negative number, that negative gets smaller because we're taking negatives away. We're adding positive. We're going towards 0. So it behaves differently. So negative 28 plus 2 is negative 26.
Now you can bring down a negative 7.
Yes, and we still need negative 7
And that's our answer.
And that's our answer. We can also double check on our calculator. Negative 28 plus 2, negative 26. Does anybody want to see this on a number line? Would that be helpful for anyone, or do we all understand and feel good about it? Just speak up if you want more explanation. I want to make sure everybody feels really good about all of these. We all feel good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's look at number 12. This one's really tricky.
4p.
I've got, yes, 3p plus
3.
3 times 3 plus 2p.
So you do 3p times 2p.
3p times 2p?
No.
No, you see, you make 3p plus 3 plus 3 9 plus 6p.
Yes. So whenever we have a problem like this, remember this is addition, 3p plus something. Right here we have multiplication, 3 times 3 and 3 times 2p.
Yeah.
We need to do this first because of the order of operations. We'll add 3p at the end. So first we do 3 times 3, which is 9.
Plus
Yes.
6p.
Plus 3 times 2p is 6p. And then what do I do?
P.
Yes, we need to bring down our 3p
Plus
plus
9.
Mm-hmm.
You say 3p
So 9
plus
plus
6p, 9p plus 9.
Yes. So now we have to find our like terms. I have two terms with the letter P attached. I have 3p. I have 6p.
9p.
Yes, 3p plus 6p is 9p
plus 9.
plus 9.
That's over.
That's our answer. That's our answer. Do we have any questions about number 12? Any part of it we're not sure where it came from? I see a few of us squinting. Is it because I need to zoom in or is it because we're confused? I'm sorry, that's the worst. If you need to move forward or I can zoom in better, maybe that would help. Got a little easier to see. Okay, good. All right, so there's number 12. Do we have any questions about any of the problems we've done so far? Okay, so guys, that's like your whole quiz. That's basically it. The last two problems I'm giving you, you don't have to do them. They are optional. However, if you do them, they are worth bonus points. So if you get everything right and you get the bonus right, you can get higher than 100% in here. Okay, you can get a really good grade. Or let's say you miss a few questions on accident. You know, you make a little mistake. If you do the bonus and get those right, you could earn those points back. So, are we ready to look at the bonus? Okay, let's do it. The bonus is tricky. Woo. So, we are combining like terms, but this is on a different level. This is a higher level of combining like terms. So, we know that like terms are numbers that have the same variable, but there's another part of it too. They also have to have the same exponent. So 5x squared and 2x are not like terms. They're different. Okay, so let's talk about how we would do this one. Yes.
What you would do, you would take 5x 2 times. So 5x times 5x, and you'll get your answer. You're doing your exponents.
Yes. So actually, if we knew what x was, we would do that. But we don't know what x is, so we can't square anything because 5 isn't being squared actually. X is being squared. But we don't know what x is. You actually aren't going to have to mess with the exponents at all. You're not going to have to do anything crazy hard.
Okay.
But that is if we knew what x was, you'd be absolutely correct. Absolutely. What I would suggest we do first is I would identify and figure out where are my like terms. So let's start with every term that has x squared on it. So I'm going to use colors. I have 5x squared.
3x.
That one doesn't match. That one doesn't match. Aha! There's another x squared. So I know, I'm going to circle my plus so I know I'm adding it. 5x squared plus 3x squared. Those are going to go together. Okay, so there's our first set. I'm going to attach them with a little line. I know those go together.
8.
Let's see.
8x squared.
Yeah, you could go ahead and do it. What's 5x squared plus 3x squared?
8x squared.
Yeah, 8x squared.
Square.
Yes, squared. I know that's a tricky word. 8x squared.
Okay.
So we're done with the squareds. And because there's a lot of terms going on here, you don't have to do this, but I think it helps. I like to cross things off when I'm done with them. That way I know I'm done. Yes, Michelle.
Why is it not 8x 4?
Oh, because we're just adding. So x squared and x squared, whenever we're putting them together, we're not multiplying. If I was multiplying, like if I did 5x squared times 3x squared, that would turn into the fourth. But since we're just adding, we're not changing the exponent. When we add, the exponent just stays the same. Okay. So now we've done our x squareds. Let's look at our x. I have plus 2x.
Minus negative x.
Yes, now I have minus x.
Equal X.
X.
Good. So 2x minus, remember this is like 1x,
Plus X.
gives us x. 2x minus 1x is 1x, or x. So we're going to write plus x. If you write plus 1x, I will count that right. That is still the same. That is fine with me. So now I have combined my x's.
And you got minus 3 minus 6.
Minus 3.
Now I have 3 minus 6.
Minus 6. Minus
Yes.
3.
3 minus 6 is negative 3, so minus 3. Perfect. Okay. And that would be your answer. 8x squared plus x minus 3. It looks scary, but when we break it down, it's not as bad as it looks. Yes.
I don't get why you work out the plus.
Can you repeat that? Say that again.
I don't get why you work out the plus.
Why we wouldn't have a plus on 3?
Yeah, because this is 3 plus.
Okay, so the reason this is minus 3 at the end of our answer is because we have a plus 3 and a minus 6. And if I do 3 take away 6, I end up with a negative 3. So because I have negative 3, that plus is a minus instead. It's the same thing as plus negative 3. You could also write that, but this is the more simplified answer. Does that make sense a little better? Okay, perfect. Do we have any other questions about this? We haven't done anything like this before, so it is tricky. Questions at all? Okay. All right. Let's look at this one now. Okay, the second bonus. What's different about this problem compared to the one before?
Parentheses.
Yeah, we got parentheses. And in front of that parentheses, I have a minus sign or a negative sign.
Okay.
What are we gonna do?
You make the sign negative on the
Yes, yes.
you say 3x 2
Huh?
plus
Yes.
2x minus 6.
Yes. So you might remember from last time, I'm gonna repeat what he said. Whenever we have a negative sign outside of a quantity in parentheses,
All signs change.
yes, it changes everything inside the parentheses. We are distributing the negative. Okay, so positive 3x squared becomes negative 3x squared. Negative 2x squared becomes
Plus
plus
2.
or positive plus 2x, and plus 6 becomes, yes, good. So remember, if you have a minus outside of parentheses, it changes the sign of everything inside. We just switch all of them, okay? And that's because what's really happening here is we're taking all of this times negative 1. Positive 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. Positive 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. Okay. And what am I missing now? I've done all this side.
And you gotta bring down everything else.
Yeah, let's bring everything down now. I've got negative 6x squared plus 4x. And am I changing any of the signs of these?
No.
No. There's nothing telling me to change them.
You say, negative, negative a 9x to square up.
Yes. So we're starting here. We have negative 6x squared,
Because
negative 3x squared. And Gina's exactly right. When you do negative 6 and negative 3, we get negative 9
square
x squared.
plus 6x.
Perfect. So next we have 4x plus 2x.
Equals plus 6x.
Good. Plus 6x.
Minus 3.
Perfect. We have plus 3 minus 6. And that's the same thing as we did in the last problem. 3 minus 6 is negative 3 minus 3. Good. And that's our answer. That's it.
That's a lot.
It is. Quite a bit there, guys. There's quite a bit there. Now, please remember, if you are completely overwhelmed by these last two problems, they are optional. I will encourage all of you to at least try them because I will give, I'll give you bonus points if you get them. However, if you try them and you get them wrong, it doesn't hurt your grade. I won't take points off your quiz for getting a bonus question wrong because I did not teach you how to do this until just now. And that's why they're bonus questions. But that's your practice quiz. Your quiz looks just like this. Exact same problems, just different numbers. So now what I'd like to do is just open the floor to you guys. Do any of you have any questions about anything on this page, front or back? Anything at all? Yes.
I have a question on number 6.
Number 6. Okay, here it is. That's on the front side.
Oh, no, on the back.
Oh, on the back.
The one of
Number 9.
this question.
Is it this one?
No.
The bonus question? Is it
Yeah.
the second
very
one?
last one that
Okay.
you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your
I
question?
didn't understand why you changed everything, all the signs.
That's a good question. So why did we change all of the signs? Let me give you an example. So let's say I have negative 2 times 3x plus 5. Okay. So when I take negative 2 times 3x, what happens to my answer? Does it stay a positive number or does it turn negative?
There's negative.
It turns negative because we are distributing a negative. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6x. So you see the sign switched. We started with positive 3. We ended with negative 6. Now when we do the next part, we started with plus 5. But now whenever I take negative 2 times positive 5, -10. It's going to become negative 10. So you see, when we distribute a negative like this, the signs switch. We started with 2 positives, we ended with 2 negatives. And it's the exact same here. We're just distributing a negative, except for there's no number with it. So we don't have to multiply a number, we just multiply the negative. Now it turns from positive 3x squared to negative 3x squared. Negative 2x to positive 2x. Positive 6 turns into negative 6. So it's the exact same thing as multiplying a negative number, just without the number. Does that make a little more sense? Or are you still a little confused about why we're switching? Because I can explain it in a different way. Do you want me to explain it in a different way? Let me try this. So we also are subtracting, I'm doing minus everything in the parentheses, right? So even though we have positive 3x squared, I'm really subtracting. I'm doing minus 3x squared. Now I'm subtracting negative 2x, subtracting negative 2x, and then I'm subtracting positive 6. So I'm subtracting 6. And remember what happens when we have two minuses next to each other? They turn into a plus. We'll bring that all down. And that's how we got from positive 3x squared to negative 3x squared. We're subtracting 3x squared. We're subtracting negative 2x, which is the same thing as adding. Then we're subtracting positive 6 minus 6. And that's where all of those came from. Okay. I hope that helps a little bit. Is anybody still confused about that? Does that clarify a little?
All the steps have me going.
It's a lot. There's a lot involved here.
So I'm really afraid of what my quiz might look like because just the steps, I mean,
That's okay.
we can
That's
go through it
okay.
together and then.
So which problems in particular, not including the bonus, which problems do you think have you the most overwhelmed?
Especially about like what changes into a positive and what changes into a negative.
Okay, so let's make a key that you guys can have as a note on your quiz. So I'm going to use a sticky note. You guys all have sticky notes at your desks in the rectangle bins, I believe. So if you would like a sticky note to make a little helper, we're going to make a key to help us remember when numbers stay negative, when they stay positive, something that we can look back at, a little guide. And I also do want to remind you guys, you can always use your calculator. Use it. I encourage you to use it because it is something that you're allowed to use in the real world too. We have calculators on our phones. And also, if you want one of these fancy yellow calculators, there's a ton of them over there on the computer cart. You guys are welcome to use those. I don't know if I've ever pointed them out to you, but if you want one of these, you're welcome to get up now and get one. Those are for you guys. Yeah. Does anybody want one of these calculators? One of these?
Yeah.
If you want one, go get one. There's lots of them.
How do you?
There's a whole class set over on the computer cart if you do. If not, that's no big deal. But they are available, just so you all know. Okay, so let's write a guide. I'm going to say multiply. First, multiply.
Here.
It's cold in here? It was really warm last week. I wonder why it's cold all of a sudden. Never can know what the temperature is going to be like in here.
78. It's almost 68, almost 70 degrees out there.
Whew, I like it. I'm ready for it to be warmer. Yes, Melina.
What does it say?
Oh, here. It says multiplying. Zoom in on that for everybody. Oh, that made it worse. Come on.
Blurry.
Come on. Chips. There we go.
Focus.
There we go. All right. So when I multiply numbers that have the same sign, for example, a positive number times a positive number. Let's see. So positive times positive equals, what kind of answer will I get?
Positive.
A positive. Good. Positive. So same sign here. Now this is the same rule. What if I take a negative times a negative?
Get a positive.
You get a positive. These have the same signs, these have the same signs. When you multiply two signs that are the same, you get a positive answer, always. Now, what if I do a negative times a positive? Now I'm multiplying different signs. Yes, you will get a negative answer. Negative. And if I do the same but opposite, I do a positive times a negative, I'm
Yeah,
multiplying. Yes, different signs give me a negative answer. Okay. Here we go. So that's our multiplying guide. Try to give you an addition guide. I'll move that over. Addition is when you're adding. Addition is a little bit more complicated. There's more things to think about. If I take a positive number plus I'm adding another positive number, what kind of answer am I going to get?
Positive.
A positive answer. And that positive answer is going to be bigger than the numbers I started with. It will be bigger. Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky. And I'm going to try to explain it, but tell me if my explaining doesn't make sense. What if I do a positive number plus a negative number? Now, I can't say for sure that I'm going to just get a positive answer or a negative answer because it depends on what my numbers are.
Yeah.
Whatever
So-
your bigger number is, gets the sign.
Yes, whatever number is bigger gets the sign, meaning if I have a bigger negative, my answer will be negative. If I have a bigger positive, my answer will be positive. But here's what's happening. If I have a positive number plus a negative number, I'm going to change it into positive minus its subtraction, positive minus positive. And for example, that would be like let's see. 10 plus -3. That's the same thing as what? What could I change this to?
Then, positive.
10 minus 3. Yes, 10 minus 3. Okay, so just remember a negative number, or that negative, it acts like a minus sign. I like to think of plus more like an and sign. I'm doing 10 and -3, 10 and -3. I like to think of it as like an and sign. Let's see. What if I had, though, I had 3 plus -10. That's a little trickier because we're subtracting a bigger number, right?
It'd be opposite of what you just wrote on it.
Say that one more time.
It'd be opposite of what you just wrote on it, or is it the same?
3 minus.
It would be opposite. Yeah, it would be 3 minus 10. Okay, so I'm going to write that. 3 take away 10. Now, if you have a problem like this, 3 minus 10, you know I can't do that. I can't take away 10 if I only have 3. So here's a trick. I can't do 3 minus 10. I'm going to make a note here. I can't take 10 away from 3. So whenever you have a problem where you are trying to take away more than you have, we're going to flip the problem and also flip our answer. Meaning, if I have to reverse this to 10 minus 3, I'll still get 7, but it'll be -7. Since I flipped my problem, I flip my answer, it becomes negative. So let's flip it. All right, I can't take 10 away from 3. So let's do 10 minus 3. And our answer is negative. Flipping the answer. So -7 would be the answer to that one. You can also know, okay, well, when I did 3 plus -10, the bigger number is negative. So my answer has to be negative. 10 is bigger than 3. Since it's -10, my answer has to be negative. Okay? I hope this is helping a little bit. I know this is some of the trickiest stuff you'll ever do in math is learning these basics, especially with adding and subtracting negative numbers. It's the hardest thing you'll learn. It is. I struggle with it myself sometimes. But really, whenever you're doing these and you are not sure, even if you think you know, check with your calculator. I think it's never a bad idea to double check and make sure that you've got it right. Okay? Now, do we have any questions about how to put it in our calculator maybe? Do we want like a, yeah, okay, let's do that real quick. Do you have a yellow calculator? Yes, you do. Okay, so quick refresher on using the calculator. And I'm gonna, So the only buttons you will use in here are the numbers and the gray buttons down the side and these three at the bottom here. So this is your negative symbol right here at the bottom right. If I wanted to do, for example, let's do 10 plus -3. I would type 10, so 1, 0. Then our addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, those are all along the right side. My plus sign is right above the enter key. I'm going to hit plus. And then I want to add -3. So to do that, before I type in 3, I need to hit the negative sign, which is right at the bottom with parentheses around it. There's my negative sign. I'm going to hit -3. And once you've typed your problem in, you just hit enter, which is at the very bottom right. And look at that. We got 7. Now we could try the other problem. We had, let's see, we did 10 plus -3. Let's do 3 plus -10. So I'm just going to use my number keys down here. 3 plus, and before we type in 10, we're doing -10, so we use the negative sign. -10. 1, 0. We'll hit enter. And we get -7. Yeah. So use your calculator to double check your work. I don't think that's cheating. I think in the real world, we have calculators, okay? Use them. Use them. So, that's your practice quiz. That's really it. That's all there is to it. Tomorrow, we're going to be taking the quiz, and that's all we're going to do. So, that's all there is to that. Now, if you take the quiz and I grade it and you don't like how you did, you have until Friday to correct your answers, okay? So if you take it and you correct your answers, there's no reason that you all can't get A pluses. You guys can all pass this easy, okay? Because I will write notes. I'll tell you what you did wrong. You'll just have to correct it. I think you're all going to do great. I think you will. I know you will, okay? And if you're worried about it, talk to me. I'm happy to help. But that's it today. So this is your exit ticket for Friday. If you want to take it home today, feel free to. You're just going to turn it in with your quiz when you take it, okay? That is all. Y'all are free to go. That's it. Yes.
If you got the quiz already.